Congratulations. This is your host, Club out there, the Club that was Sports Report live right here, Leesburg, Virginia, Loudoun County area. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk to you guys about the fact that the Greek Freak just won the Defensive Player of the Year, nor the 20 for 2019, the 2020 season, by the way. The fact that PG had anxiety and depression inside the NBA bubble, and they scored 35 points last night. I'm gonna talk to you guys about the been going on watching the football. I'll get you guys in there for sure. I'm gonna talk to you guys also about the fact that Mackenzie Alexander's father was missing, even though he got arrested on a battery charge. I'll tell you guys about that for sure. I'll tell you guys about the fact that Lucas Giolito, that is, he threw a first no-hitter, defeating the Pirates, by the way, 4-0. So that's surprising. I'll tell you guys about the Impact Wrestling Emergence Night 2 results. Get you guys in that for sure. The latest on Adam Abdul-Jabbar, who was arrested for stabbing a neighbor, by the way, over helping his grandmother with helping the neighbor's grandmother with outdoor trash cans, by the way. I'll get you guys in that for sure. Repercussions are going to await him, by the way, as well. Harry Maguire being found guilty on 3 charges. I'll tell you guys about that. The week of the incident. I will talk to you guys also about the fact that Lionel Messi wants to leave Barcelona, and the fact that Serena Williams lost to Maria Sakkari, by the way. And W tends to be a virtual fan who had a KKK video aired during Raw at the Thunderdome in the main event. Tell you guys about that. Their WWE statement on that for sure. And that is pretty much all I will have just for that. And also his new game called Big Creed, yeah. Rumble Boxing, Rumble Boxing Creed Champions. That's going to be coming out spring 2021. And that is all I will have for today, everybody, for now. So, yeah, Big Rumble Boxing Creed Champions, that's going to be coming out spring 2020. Tell you about that for sure. And that's all I'm going to have for today. I want to start things off with the fact that the Greek Freak just won the 2019-2020 Defensive Player of the Year award. He's the 5th Bucks player to ever do so. I'll tell you guys about that. And that's really amazing. So Greek Freak, he's a former MVP, and he was also named the 2019 to 2020 Defensive Player of the Year award. And he got that. So you gotta give it credit to the Greek Freak. He's putting a lot of points, rebounds, and assists. I can tell you this: he may be the favorite he is indeed the favorite heading to the NBA Finals, by the way. I mean, the Bucks, they got the heat. So I mean, do I really want to see these guys? Do I want to see the Bucks make it to the NBA Finals? Yes, indeed, I do. So it's all a work in progress, by the way. So Greg Freak's putting up a lot of points, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he has in store though for the Heat because the Bucks they're gonna tear apart the Heat. That's what they're gonna do right there. So they're doing to keep themselves alive, and that's all there is to it. And eventually, that right there says it all. So not much what I can say right there. So great, congrats to Greek Freak win the Defensive Player of the Year award, and hopefully he makes it to the NBA Finals. By the way, they took down the Magic, and they're gonna take it down the Heat. It's what they will do for sure. So that's all I'm gonna have for that. So congrats to Greek Freak on that. Other than this, I want to get down to, by the way, PG, who had 35 points, Paul George, who had 35 points, says he had anxiety and depression in the bubble, by the way. And he's doing okay for sure. It's in the NBA bubble, by the way, but he is doing okay as we all know it. So that all makes me see that all is pretty good. But you know, but but even though, you know, let's see. The Clippers, they took down the Mavericks, by the way. So yeah, it is amazing. It is that was the best part yet. And everyone's looking forward to seeing what they got in store. So nothing more I can say right there, everybody, on that. So that's amazing, the best news yet, and pretty much. Now speaking of Paul George, by the way, he did in fact have 35 points. Hey, he don't disappoint. He didn't disappoint not one bit. The Clippers they would beat the Mavericks 154 to 111, by the way. And honestly, this is really good. So I mean, at least at long last, Paul George has suddenly scored up a lot of points, which he's done. So you had you had Paul George scoring 35 points. He had 3 rebounds and 2 assists in the game. 35 points. Kawhi Leonard had 32 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists in the game. Paul George had 2 assists and 3 rebounds. Kawhi Leonard had 7 rebounds and 4 assists in this game. So, I can credit due, by the way. You also had Luka Donic, of course. He had 22 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And that right there will say it all. But, Marcus Morris on the flip side, he may be suspended for, trying to nearly injure Luka Doncic, by the way, because he tripped on because Luka tried to hurt his ankle. And I think that's safe to say that Marcus Morris stepping on, Luka Doncic may have been intentional. And some people would want Marcus Morris Sr. to be suspended, by the way, which needs to happen. And apparently that doesn't look good right there because Clips right now are 3-2, and Clips right now they only need one more game to win when they go to the next round. So I think it's just safe to say the Clippers right now they're gonna defeat the Mavericks because it's a big surprise right there. So you gotta give a credit's due to them. You gotta give a credit's due to these guys. So nothing more to that I can say for sure. So there's nothing more I could say. So congrats to the Clippers getting another win. 154 to 111, and yeah, that says it all right there. So get credit due for that. And also another news that I want to address, by the way, that Lionel Messi wants to leave Barcelona after they didn't win a title, by the way. So that didn't look good there. I could say that. I think it's safe to say that you know, he hasn't left since 2007 to 2008. So Lionel Messi on the flip side, he wants out of the Barcelona. So where the question is, where's he going to go? That's the question that you guys want to know for sure. And Barcelona, they're intending to give Lionel Messi a contract extension offer, but Lionel Messi is going to turn down on that. So Lionel Messi has no interest being in Barcelona anymore, and he wants out, and he's going to leave Barcelona whether everyone likes it or not. So that's a really big loss right there. I can tell you that. So there's nothing more I can say right there. Everybody on that note. So Lionel Messi, wherever he goes, decision is. Others I want to address here, by the way, that Serena Williams lost to Maria Sakkari on 3 sets, 5-7, 7-6, 5, and 6-1 on 3 sets at the Western and Southern Open. So that's a really big upset right there that Maria Sakkari pulled on Serena Williams. I mean, Serena Williams would have won that one. She's dominant. She's a former Grand Slam champ. To see her not win, to see her get eliminated by Maria Sakkari, uncalled for. Serena Williams will be back, everybody. Serena Williams will be back. So make no mistake about that. She will come back better as ever, and hopefully she makes it. That's all there is you need to know on that. And others I want to address here, by the way, that WWE is working on to ban a virtual fan who showed a KKK video that was aired on Monday Raw's main event at the Thunderdome this past Monday night. And WWE says that this behavior doesn't reflect on WWE's values and zero tolerance from future events and our policies. Any inappropriate actions result in being removed from the live stream. Smoking, political statements, racism, offensive, discriminatory or distasteful acts of violence. Those will also lead to being removed from the live stream as well. So if you guys saw this past Monday night on Raw, there was a the main event, that is, you can see one of the videos showed a live stream of an individual wearing who had like a triple KKK garb and like a white hood, and that's uncalled for. So that fan, whoever did that, is going to be banned. They don't have the name of that individual. So that KKK individual who wore that KKK garb and the white hood, that fan will be banned for life. And if any other fans do it or say any kind of remarks, racial remarks, they'll be banned as well. So not good there. Really not good. So fans, if you guys attending the Thunderdome, behave yourselves. No heinous acts. None of that. And WWE is not having it. That's all I can say right there, everybody. That's all I can say right there. And also some others I wanna, address here by the way, that I want to address the Impact Wrestling Emergence Night 2 results. Here they are. You saw Eddie Edwards retain the Impact World title. EY would attack Eddie Edwards, by the way. He would attack Eddie Edwards, and Eddie Edwards going to defend his Impact World title against EY Eric Young next week, by the way. Check that out on Access TV. You saw Crazy Steve defeat the Swingman, defeat Johnny Swinger. You saw Brian Myers defeat Willie Mack for sure. You saw Larry D defeat Johnny Bravo, by the way, as well. Top of all that, you saw Deon Purrazzo retain her Knockouts title in a 30-minute Iron Man match. And I gotta tell you, that was amazing. That was incredible. So you gotta give her credit due for Deon Purrazzo and Jordan Grace putting on a good show out there. It's the first ever they've ever done. I mean, there have been Iron Man and Iron Woman matches in WWE. There's been a first in the Knockouts division and the Impact Zone. So that's amazing. And women breaking barriers is all they got. Is what they do. So you gotta give credit due for that. So make no mistake about that. So amazing. You gotta love it. And that's all there is. And well, the little whistle right there. So it does say it all, and that's amazing. Tell you else about that. Now, another news I want to address here, by the way, that Mackenzie Alexander's dad, by name of Gene Odney Alexander, went missing this past week after he was berry picking with another man, by the way, and Mackenzie Alexander will be arrested for like confronting this man. Was arrested after he allegedly confronted this man for some apparent reason. I'll tell you guys about that for sure. So that didn't look too good there. So basically it says right here, he was arrested after he got into it with another man. He was released, by the way, in custody. Now the report says we're here that another man by name of Evans Clement arrived with cops at the home of the victim, discussing an incident that transpired the day prior to that. After the officer left, Alexander Clement attempted to get some info regarding this incident. When the man would not get into their ride, Clement held down the man as Alexander hit the man in the face, causing severe injuries. Alexander Clement's vehicle were identified by officers. The two guys were stopped, arrested, and charged with battery after a man told the police he wanted to press charges. And he's more distraught and Alexander McKenzie was distraught and concerned about his own dad was missing after he was berry picking with another man, by the way. And authorities are still looking. Authorities, however, are still finding Alexander out Mackenzie Alexander's dad, Gene Alexander, who went missing this past week after he was on a berry picking trip with another man, by the way. And authorities, however, authorities in Florida, the Okeechobee County, and also the Collier County, they're looking for the man for Mackenzie Alexander's dad, who went missing this past week on despite a berry picking trip that he was on, and authorities haven't seen him since. So hopefully, the man is found safe. Hopefully that Mackenzie Alexander's dad is found safe. And obviously they don't know where he's at right now. So my thoughts and prayers out to Mackenzie Alexander, his family members, all of his fans, all his viewers of this very tragic situation. And I just hope that all's well with him. So he needs all the help he's gonna get, because authorities they have to find. They're doing the best of their ability to find um Mackenzie Alexander's dad, who went missing on a berry picking trip, that is in Florida. So hopefully he's found safe. But also Mackenzie Alexander was sent home after he was released from custody. So that's all um after his own dad went missing. So hopefully he's all well. Hopefully hopefully his dad is found, and hopefully he's doing well. Hopefully he is, and hope nothing happens to him. That's all I gotta say right there, buddy. That's all I can say. And others I want to address here, by the way, that I want to address you guys about the latest on Adam Abdul-Jabbar, by the way. Now, if you guys remember, Adam Abdul-Jabbar was arrested and charged for stabbing a neighbor by the name of Raymond Windsor after arguing with him over, arguing over helping the neighbor's grandmother with the outdoor trash cans. Now, Adam Abdul-Jabbar faces 3 felony charges. He was charged with assault with a deadly weapon, count of carrying a dirk or a dagger, and 3 enhancements of inflicting bodily injury or bodily harm and injury. This is over the incident with the neighbor that I told you right now, Raymond Windsor. This is the neighbor that filed a lawsuit against Adam Abdul-Jabbar. It also says right here that yeah, Abdul-Jabbar had he was stabbed numerous times. He had a fractured skull and a brain bleed. He nearly almost died of brain loss, by the way. And and Adam Abdul-Jabbar and Raymond Windsor, they were arguing, by the way. So that didn't sit well. That did not sit well. So if Adam Abdul-Jabbar is convicted of these felony charges, he will face 9 years and 8 months behind bars. So that is going to be, well, it's on Adam Abdul-Jabbar, because he's looking like a piece of trash now. So you call this what you want. But Adam Abdul-Jabbar, if he gets convicted, he gets 9 years and 8 months behind bars. So there's nothing more to it. By the way, those repercussions he's gonna face. So obviously that's not gonna sit well with anyone else. And apparently people aren't too pleased about that. People are a little unsatisfied. So I can tell you that right now. So another more to it. Another thing I want to point out, by the way, Lucas Giolito of the Chicago White Sox. That was their first no-hitter defeating the Pirates 4-0 on 101 pitches. It says right here though that 30 swings and misses. By the way, he rallied one and rallied a fastball and struck one out. By the way, in the comeback, so you gotta give her credits due to Lucas Giolito, by the way. So amazing, what a valiant effort that is, and that's all there is. It's just for now. Luciano threw a first no-hitter, defeating the Pirates on a 4-0 deficit shutout, and they on the 101 pitches. So that's amazing right there. Gotta give credit to Lucas Giolito on that. Also, I want to say happy birthday wishes out to James Harden, Melissa McCarthy, St. John, and so send your birthday wishes, and also Kylie Ray's birthday was yesterday. So send your birthday wishes, your birthday shouts, your birthday tweets, your birthday comments down below, and birthday comments down below in the comment section. Please do serve everybody on that, and that's all there is you need to know. So there is nothing more I can say right there. So that's all there is, just for now, everybody. Also, there's still guys that Big Rumble Boxing Creed Champions is going to be coming out in the spring of 2021. Pre-order right now, guys. If you're not done so. So it's going to be out on the Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, I guess, and then the Xbox One. So that's best news yet. You can still get them though, guys. Still pre-order right now. So that's all the news you need to know, and nothing more to it. So like I said right there. Another news that I want to address here. I want to address you guys about the latest on the Washington football team that's been under a lot of peril, and here is one of them, by the way. Because you guys remember that that 17 that I think numerous women, 17 women or 25 women came for these sexual harassment and misconduct allegations against these former team employees. Well, now Washington Post has reported that 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 one of these former Washington football executives was told to do a lewd video of Dan Snyder and these new cheerleaders. There's some 2008 swimsuit calendar shoot, by the way. Now it says right here in the Washington Post that this is on the Views and the Beach, which is the video making the Washington NFL teams 2008 cheerleader swimsuit calendar. The women frolic in the sand, raved by the custom keys and praise the photographer for putting them in ease and settings where sometimes a strategically placed proper or tightly framed shot shielded otherwise bare breast. Uncalled for. The cheerleaders didn't. Well, now what the cheerleaders don't know for sure was that another video intended strictly for private use was produced using footage from the same shoot. Sent the classic route, the 10-minute unofficial video featured moments where there were nip slips, inadvertently exposed as the women shifted positions or adjusted props. Now, the lewd outtakes were what Larry Michael, then the team's lead broadcaster, who was released on the harassment allegations, and senior vice president and senior VP, for just a good bit. He refers to him as good bits or good parts. According to Brad Baker, who was the former member of Michael's staff, the Baker said that he was present when Michael told all the staffers to make the video for Dan Snyder. By the way, Snyder didn't comment on this at all, given repeated opportunities to respond to this and other allegations in the story. Now, Larry Michael denied these allegations for sure. Now he says nothing can be further from the truth. Never asked nor told, or I didn't ask someone to compile videos as you described. Baby posts otherwise. He says Larry said something to the effect of, "We have a special project that we need to get done for the owner today. Needs us to get the good bits of the behind the scenes video from a cheerleader shoot onto a DVD for him." Who was a producer. Now, Baker was also a producer of the team's broadcast department from 2007 to 2009. And it says right here, though, that Washington Post obtained a copy of the 2008 video from another former employee, along with a similar outtakes video from the squad's Dominican Republic swimsuit calendar shoot, by the way, from 2010, that had a close-up of the Chile's public area obscured by gold body paint. That former broadcaster producer told the Washington Post that Michael ordered the 2010 be burned to a DVD title for executive meeting. The former producer didn't recall Michael mentioning Dan Snyder. Now, both employees spoke on the condition of anonymity because they feared retaliation. Now, Michael denied the knowledge of any such videos. Now, on August 18th, the Washington Post emailed the team's public relations representative a summary of its reporting and detailed questions. The Washington football team, through its public relations firm and lawyer, requested additional days to respond and didn't accept repeated offers from the Post to show team officials these videos. The team didn't comment on this. Snyder didn't agree to an interview. Now, I already told you guys this, that the Washington Post did report that numerous women from the Washington football team, or that used to work for the Washington football team, reported allegations of sexual harassment and abuse and misconduct, by the way, in the front office by Michael, included by Michael Snyder, that such behavior has no place in our franchise, and hired a law firm to set a new employee standards for the future. And also says right here that that 25 women, most of them speaking on the condition of anonymity because of non-disclosure agreements or fear reprisal. By the way, this is also in the Washington Post, by the way, as well, everybody. They told the Post that they were experiencing harassment while working for the Washington football team. They described male bosses, colleagues, and players commenting on their bodies and clothing, incorporating sexual innuendos into workplace conversation, and making unwanted advances in person via emails, text messages, and social media. Now, many of them said they were motivated to speak out because they were angered by Snyder's comments after the Post reported last month that had 17 women that detailed an allegations from another 17 women, which they rated as an attempt to distance themselves from the workplace called toxic culture, by the way. Now, one of the women interviewed for the story accused Dan Snyder of humiliating her, the first such claim to the made to the Post. A former cheerleader by the name of Tiffany Bacon Scarby said Snyder approached her at a 2004 charity event, which the cheerleaders were performing, and suggested she joined his close friend. She joined his close friend in a hotel room so they could get a chance to know each other a whole lot better. Now, Scarby's account was supported by three of her friends she spoke to shortly afterward about the alleged incident, including the team's former cheerleading director. Now, many of the women came out in recent weeks with the harassment allegations and the misconduct allegations that point to former executives Alex Santos, the Larry Michael, Dennis Green, and Mitch Gershman, by the way, as well. They didn't comment on the storyline. They did not comment on the storyline. Now, some women, by the way, they in the Washington football team, that former executives there, they described this as sense of helplessness and an absence of options because the team's one-person human resources department, supervised by the executives who appeared to condone this behavior. One former intern said she tried to lodge a sexual harassment complaint against Santos in 2016, but Stephen Choi, the organization's chief financial officer, told her team had a male-dominated culture. She would have to avoid Santos or quit. She quit, though. And Choi didn't comment on this at all. Now, many women also said that gender-based official policies and their formal practices limited their ability to do their jobs and denied them opportunities for career advancement. This is on the watch post everybody on that. So pay attention to this. It says right here that now Alicia Klein's a 27-year-old Georgia G-Town graduate, a G-Town University graduate, by the way, when she was an intern from back in 2010 for the Washington football team. She passed up a chance to extend her internship because she felt so uncomfortable about male executives constantly remarking on her looks, by the way. She says it was pervasive. Now, she's also a sports professor and executive in Brazil. She didn't tell anybody because it was embarrassing and demeaning. And she wanted to tell everyone that I worked in the NFL. Then back in 2017, Choice Direction, the team's human resources staffer emailed all employees a conduct policy restricting the movement of women in the building to minimize their interaction with players. The email made form of what long had been an understood directive, according to several former employees. Women should avoid football operations areas out of concern. That would distract players. Now, some women here endured harassment and verbal abuse that left lingering emotional damage. Some form in a formal online support group for former team employees. Some say they felt working for the team left them with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, that is. Now, Brittany Peretti, who was a nation's capital marketing executive, worked for the team's community and charitable programs from back in 2007 to 2012. Got very upset and depressed during her time with the team that her family staged an intervention to convince her to get some therapy, by the way. And she says it was like fresh meat to a pack of hyenas or wolves. Every time a new pack of interns would come right in, it was like a frat house with the guys lined up in the lobby watching women walk in and out. Constantly felt there were eyes on you. Peretti and Scarabee are among two former team employees who retained attorney Lisa J. Banks, part of the nation's capital firm Katz, Marshall, and Banks, specialized in civil rights, employment, and sexual harassment law. She also says that a workplace culture, a toxic place environment that's been pervasive environment at the highest levels of this organization can't exist without the knowledge and encouragement of the owner. That would be Dan Snyder, by the way, whose firm representative Palo Alto University professor Christine Blasey Ford when she went public in 2018 with accusations with sexual assault allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, who denied them for sure. Now, some former team employees were referred to Banks by the team's Times Up Legal Defense Fund, which is an initiative that connects women who are sexually harassed at work with legal and public relations professionals. New allegations come at a perilous time for Snyder, who recently dropped the team's name under pressure from sponsors and critics who said it was extremely racist. He faces the exodus of his three owners who are trying to sell their collective 40% stake in their franchise, by the way. And Snyder says he'd gone to court twice in recent weeks to defend his reputation. Now he would sue. He would file a lawsuit, like a 40% lawsuit, by the way, a 40 mil lawsuit. He filed a lawsuit on the online media company Meow.com for publishing what he said were defamatory stories about him. He's accusing a former employee by the name of Mary Ellen Blair and her landlord of helping to orchestrate and bankroll those stories. The landlord is a company led by the son-in-law and daughter Dwight Schar, one of the minority owners seeking to sell his share of the team. Blair and the company have denied its allegations. Now, the August 21st court filing, lawyers for the company Comstock Holdings characterized Snyder's pursuit of financial information to bolster his claim as a speculative fishing expedition, by the way, as well. Now, since the first one came out, Snyder diversified his team's senior leadership with two high-profile hires. Last week, Jason Wright was named the new president of the Washington football team. That is, at the time, that title in the NFL. Snyder hired sports broadcaster Julie Donaldson to replace Michael as senior VP of media, making the team's highest ranking woman. He hired Beth Wilkinson to conduct a full-on bias investigation of the workplace. And obviously, independent investigation is going to be needed. Peretti, we can't trust a report from this organization to be unbiased. By the way, and apparently Snyder wasn't a fight night regular attendees, but a photographer captured him. But it says right here that cigar smoke and laughter and chatter, more 2K of the region's wealthiest guys filled the Washington Hilton ballroom as fight night. The Ballady Box themed charity event that was discontinued after last year's edition got underway on November evening 2004. So the centerpiece of this event raised money for children's charities was a boxing ring where young fighters competed and watching cheerleaders performed. Now, Dan Snyder wasn't a fight night regular attendees, but a photographer captured him in his arm around Shar. Snyder won an auction for a limited edition Harley Davidson motorcycle, spending $80K. Now, Scarby said she finished dancing in the ring with her teammates, wearing black bustiers, gold shorts, and black fishnet arm stockings. Returned to mingling with guests and selling copies of that year's swimsuit calendar when she saw Snyder. Tiffany Scarby recalled Snyder calling to her, then 26. She had never spoken to Snyder before. She said it was surprised he knew her name. Scarby recalled a brief, awkward conversation before Snyder said, "You know Tony's here," and gestured to Anthony Roberts, his longtime friend, who was 40 years old at the time. Roberts denied that they had performed LASIK surgery in Scarby the year before one of her friends recommended him. She said she had noticed him in Snyder's suite at FedEx Field before a game a few months later, peering through binoculars and waving at her. The official ophthalmologist Roberts has known Snyder since they were classmates at Rockville High School. Teens, they watched Washington games together. Snyder's home in Silver Spring. In 1999 post story when Snyder had one of his first successful business forays in 22. By the way, as well, they got a hotel room. Snyder said that tells the fortnight. It's going to Scotty, why don't you and Tony go upstairs and get to know each other better? Scotty laughed sheepishly and waited for a laugh from Snyder that would indicate she was joking. Didn't laugh, she says, "Oh, I'm working. Have a great time." Skyray said she told him before quickly walking back into the crowd. Later that night, she confided in Donald Wells, chill director, about the conversation. Remember her saying, "Dan Snyder offered me the suite with one of his friends," said Wells, who led the team squad 20 other employees amid the economic downturn, more or less proposition. Now, two of the people supported Skyby's recollection that evening. Her boyfriend at the time spoke of the condition of a nominee and a longtime friend who said Skyby told her about the incident a few days later. Snyder let it be known he had a room in the hotel and Tiffany and his friend should go get to know each other better. Recall Christy Kelly, a cannabis industry executive who lives in Michigan. She gracefully exited the conversation. Years later, Scalby said she's still unsure whether Roberts knew about Snyder's remark. Roberts did not respond to repeated requests for comment from the Post. Power dynamic, and Dan Snyder looked down on me because he's powerful in our employ. He thinks he somehow has the right to say these things to us, make these requests of us, and he doesn't. It's disgusting and degradable. Scalby continued to work as a cheerleader for 4 years after that fight night, serving as the team captain back in '08, representing the team at the 2009 Pro Bowl. A 42-year-old single mother of two young boys, she says she maintains a connection to the team's cheerleaders as a sideline assistant, volunteer coaching position. Now, Scalby's second allegation of inappropriate behavior against a high-profile man. Now, she accused Jeremy Piven of sexually assaulting her in 2003 during a brief encounter in New York. Piven denied the allegation along with similar claims of sexual misconduct by seven other women. She was canceled the drama he was starring at the time. So powerful guys in power positions need to realize that they can't be doing this. Says the request of the unofficial cheerleader video came after a routine production meeting in 2008. Now, former production manager in the team's broadcasting department, cheerleaders recently have returned from their calendar shoot that year in Aruba. Baker said Michael excused 2 female colleagues and asked him to stay, along with 2 male colleagues. Tim Delaney, then vice president, who was a former vice president of production, and Mark Dress, a videographer. Michael asked for the video, the good bits. There was an awkward pause. He was unsure what they were being asked to. Yes, I'll take care of it. And then said later that day, Baker said he walked to the editing room to find Delaney, assisted by Dress. Assembling footage of that included multiple shots of Chili's exposed nipples. I apologize for that. Co-workers appeared visibly uncomfortable doing their work. Nobody had anything. It was just palpable tension. Baker was among those laid off in 2009, now lives in Nashville. The door would be open. It was shut. Co-workers spoke in hushed tones. And when he left the room, Delaney told him to close the door. Delaney and Dress disputed Baker's account, by the way. Now Delaney wasn't asked to create the outtakes video. No, he doesn't have any knowledge of anyone creating one or even being asked to do one. Delaney's not vice president of broadcast and digital content of the Cardinals. So would have remembered that conversation hadn't happened. And he says that never seen anything like this. Independent Dress is not independent videographer in Maryland. Just shooter. Shot it. What happened after I turned it on? Can't tell you. Now Megan Imbird, who's a former producer in the broadcast department, she walked into the editing bay in summer of 2008 and saw an image of the screen she learned years later from Baker was part of this video. A zoomed in shot of a cheerleader's bikini bottom floats in the public area. God, that's a really weird place for a shot to be stopped. Hope that's never used for anything. So the 10-minute outtakes video was created June 9th, 2008. According to metadata in the video file, a technical analysis by the Washington Post and a researcher from the Infomedia Lab at Carnegie Mellon University found no evidence that had been manipulated. It had a promotional video broadcast by the team share what appeared to be identical frames from a topless photo shoot, with official version blurred in the outtakes version in sharp focus. Now, 2010 video showed new cheerleaders that created June 22nd that year, which meant that shortly after the year's calendar shoot in the Dominican Republic. Now, both videos show the same soundtrack: Rolling Stones, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Aerosmith's Sweet Emotion, and U2's Mysterious Ways. In both outtake videos, cheerleaders look directly at the camera repeatedly. Now, the Post showed the videos to Banks, Scaraby's attorney, who represents Baker, says it's appalling. Not surprising, the Washington football team would produce these highly sexualized videos without the knowledge or consent of the women featured. The videos appear to have been created to serve no other purpose than to satisfy the Korean interest in the team's executive leadership. The former employee who provided both videos to the Post described me seeing a producer splice the footage together for a 2010 video. Now, according to the former employee, the producer identified the footage as outtakes of the recent cheerleader shoot. The video was compiled for Snyder. Now, the former employee told the Washington Post, "I see the video because I didn't think anyone would believe it was real." The former employee decided to provide the videos to the Washington Post and at the July 16 report out of a desire to see the NFL hold the team more accountable. A producer recalled the brief exchange by the former co-worker, but said it's plausible The outtakes were put together in a shared editing room. Now, producer said Michael asked for the calendar footage to be scoured for good stuff, partially nude in other salacious moments, and spliced its the other onto a DVD title for executive meeting. Michael never had said or explicitly that the video was for Snyder, who said 2 copies were given to Michael. Producer reviewed the 2010 video taken by the Post and confirmed its authenticity. Producer expressed shame for taking part in this production. It's unprofessional, perverted, the kind of culture that would exist in a world where there are barely any women in powerful positions, no human resources, and no accountability. Michael had no explanation for who edited the videos and who took them, by the way. They were reviewed by the Post and said he could not explain why multiple lower level employees who worked for the team in different years, the managers had ordered up the videos for team executives. The former employee who provided the videos to the Post reached out through a newsroom tip line. Now, Baker separately told the Washington Post what he recalled about the 2008 version. Now, the Post reporters were contacted. Now, former employees were including one of them got confirmed making the 2010 video. Now, even though I watched the Post, they learned about the unofficial videos for the first time. So several former cheerleaders felt exploited by the organization that at the time paid them $1,000 per year. The other trainer post for the 2008 calendar was asked for a closed shoot, which only essential staff, the photographer and the videographer were allowed to attend. And she says she felt betrayed and violated, by the way. She was 29 when she had to post topless. The authorized version of the video, several beaded necklaces and cover up their parts of her breasts. In the unauthorized version, her nipples are exposed. A 41-year-old business, now she's a 41-year-old business analyst. She cheered for the team from 2004 to 2010, worked as a sideline assistant since then. Shown the 2008 outtakes video, she said it was sure it was compiled from the same footage as the promotional videos broadcast on television and online. Now, Scarby was involved in both shoots in 2008 as a cheerleader and in 2010 as a volunteer helping to coordinate the shoot. She also viewed the videos and said she was certain the footage came from the team's videographers. Now, she was horrified, nauseous. Scarby said the video was a huge violation of my sisters and I. Wells, a longtime cheerleader director, was taken aback by the news of the videos that he cried. Worked so hard to protect them, daughters and wives and mothers. It's degradable and disgusting. Now, Brittany Bell's another former cheerleader whose nipples were visibly through body paint in 2010 outtakes, but airbrushed in the official promotional videos that year. She issued a statement through lawyer Gloria Allred. If these allegations are true, the use of my image in such an inappropriate manner without my knowledge or consent is reprehensible and appalling. And Megan Ember said she worked for the team 2008 to 2011. She said the fears instilled by employees from day one. Very shortly after reporting for the first day of work, Team Sense headquarters and as does employees, they learned several unwritten rules. Always call the owner Mr. Snyder or Sir, never Dan. Never look him in the eyes, and if he comes walking your way, turn around and head in the other direction. The fear is instilled in employees from day one who worked for the team from 2008 to 2011. The organization, the Washington football team is led by fear. Now, Susan Miller, who was a retired former president of a Virginia employee referral agency, stopped sending people to work for the team in the early 2000s after growing appalled by how Snyder treated his employees. Denigrated people, treated women like servants. One time in 2000 or 2001, Miller recalled she got a phone call from Snyder's executive assistant informing her Snyder had fired a woman Miller had referred there because he thought she looked frumpy or dowdy. He just passed her in the hall once and then just said, "Get rid of her," Miller said. The executive assistant did not respond to a request for comment. Denigrated people, treated women like servants. Now, former executive assistants to Snyder described a high-profile job with high turnover that requires 2 or 3 staffers to ensure, among many of other duties, that his bar has an ample supply of Crown Royal XR, and at the end of the toilet paper in his private bathroom is folded in a hotel-style point. And those who work for Snyder heed a long list of protocols, according to 3 former executive assistants. Don't speak too loudly. Never eat in front of him. Don't go to the bathroom unless another assistant is available to cover the phones. Don't take a lunch break, but if you must eat at your desk, make sure the food doesn't smell. Clean the owner's desk each morning, ensuring that his counter and daily kitchen menu are in the proper locations and that his paper clips all face the same direction. By the way, now female assistants said additional directives ought to put them in no-win situations where heels, don't let your heels clack loudly, wear smart business attire, but be prepared to run down 2 flights of stairs and up again for ice from the kitchen in the basement. Center preferred over the ice from the kitchen on the executive floor. When he wants something, wanted it 10 minutes ago, former executive assistant said, "Can't tell you how much running I did. I was drenched in sweat more often than not. For ice cubes, I felt like part of my job description apparently was cocktail waitress in the evening." And basically, former employees from across Snyder's tenure interviews scoffing at what they consider the team's inadequate human resources department. One full-time employee who reported the chief's financial officer, while team's code of conduct forbids unwelcome or unsolicited sexual advances and conduct that creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive working environment. Does the women said they routinely experience unwelcome advances, things that go on there that they would never go on in a normal office. Michelle Tezier, who was the team's public relations in 2004, the photo was taken as an invitation to make comments. "I was cornered in offices. There would be no one else around. The flirting and the innuendo starts, and they take it too far." Since 2016, the team's lone human resources staffer reported to Chewy, the chief financial officer, whose handling of the 2 situations described by former employees deepened a sense that the team's code of conduct regarding sexual harassment and gender equality existed only on paper. Nachoy, who has worked for the team since '09, declined to comment in the interview request through a team spokesman. Now, Shannon Slade, nurse 2016, 22-year-old, a college intern at the time. Mack tried to file a complaint against Santos, then 40. At a phone interview, Slade described her increased level of discomfort as Santos pursued her throughout her internship. So with daily visits to her desk and unwanted gifts such as a team visor or a water bottle. And now Slade said Santos called her asking about her favorite bars and whether She would date him. Sims would stop by daily and comment on her clothing. She said, including a day she wore a blue dress she considered professional, and Santos told her, little too short for me not to look at. Counseled by two former female employees, supervisors, she went to, now Slate went to Chile. His reaction marked an end to Slate's career in refresh in pro sports. He said, "This is a sports organization, men dominated." Slate recalled, you have two options: keep your distance from Alex, or you can end the internship early." And the internship, she ended the internship early. Slate's account was supported by the college roommate she told at the time, as well as by Slate's older sister. Guess they kind of wanted to sweep it under the rug. After Slate, a nanny in Monmouth Beach, New Jersey, wanted to call them and ask them what the hell was wrong with them. Sent a decline. The Chewy, an email sent to all employees in 2017 sparked outrage among women. The post was sent by a copy of the email. The email sent by Julie Commonides, the team's sole human resources employee, included a list of conduct policies. Among them, Commonides wrote, "It has also been requested that if at all possible, females are not present at any football areas while players are here." Implication made clear and follow instructions by team executives, according to former women, was that there were there was there were instruction to players. By the way, the letter says right here, this is a reminder of conduct policies within areas designated to football staff. Unless there's a legitimate business need, non-football staff are not allowed to downstairs when the players are in the building. Includes giving unapproved tours, getting drinks from the soda machine, going down to practice. Request that if at all possible, females are not present in any football areas while the players are here. The waiting rooms for full-time employees only. Non-football staff hours are Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. No mornings or weekends. These hours will be revisited when the players